Good evening, everyone, and welcome to GameCenter 40 for Friday, June 26, 2020, and here are the day's top stories. In today's stock meeting with its shareholders, President of Nintendo Shuntaro Furukawa stated that the production of the Nintendo Switch, which had been facing some shortages since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, has returned to normal. In late January of this year, Nintendo announced that the pandemic would affect production of items made in China, which it actually did. The reduction in production affected the number of consoles that could be sold, and since Nintendo was focusing on other countries, a lottery system was instated for the second time in Japan, which would allow those who won the lottery the opportunity to purchase a Nintendo Switch. All other items were subsequently hard to find all over the world, also due to supply issues, like Ring Fit Adventure, which comes with a Ring peripheral. Everything could be ready to get back on track for Nintendo in the production of Switch and its peripherals sometime soon. Now, I've never seen one myself, but David Porter of Microsoft has announced that all but 4 Microsoft stores will be closing for good worldwide. The only locations that will have a store open once the purge ends will be New York City, New York, Sydney, Australia, London, England, and Redmond, Washington. Porter himself said the focus for Microsoft stores from this point forward would be its online store. Pointing to services already available for Microsoft computers and on the online store, the physical stores will be reimagined to fit the new online-only atmosphere. Netflix's Twitter account released a small infographic for July's upcoming Netflix titles. One of them that was noticed is the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! The original, well, to be more precise, NASA's original series, not the 26-episode Toei version that came before it, otherwise known to many fans as Season 0. Also on the infographic are movies for 80s and 90s fans, like the Karate Kid trilogy, Total Recall, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, Poltergeist, and Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. With Netflix having a bigger presence in everything, it's expected that the list will be this large going forward. Square made a Twitter and announced on it that The World Ends With You, often shorted to WWII, will have an anime and it's in the works, noting that a full reveal will be presented on Anime Expo Light on Friday, July 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It's coming off the heels of the remake, which was released onto the Nintendo Switch late last year. And when we come back on GameCenter 40, Square Enix will announce several games. The Last of Us 2 sold 4 million copies in 2 days. And a leaked Microsoft document hints at a second-generation Xbox Series X. All this and more when GameCenter 40 returns for Dover, South Seaville, Milford, Swainton, Georgetown, Wildwood, and all of South Jersey and Delmarva. Square Enix was asked about its plans at its recent shareholders meeting and plans to have a press conference as a replacement event for what would have been its E3 announcements. The company will be announcing new games as time comes by throughout July and August. They have already latched onto E3's digital alternatives, where during the PS5 Future of Gaming event by Sony, they announced Project Athia, which is early in development, and we can expect these announcements to be actually great and feature some new and old IPs from Square Enix sometime soon. The PS4's fastest selling game is now its most controversial. The controversial The Last of Us 2, which broke many hearts and mended others. PlayStation's marketing, Eric Lampel, shared the news in a post to the PlayStation blog, which revealed that the game had sold more than 4 million copies in 2 days. It beat out others in its new category like God of War, Uncharted 4, and even Spider-Man. But people are now speculating whether or not Ghost of Tsushima will beat it on July 17th. Neil Druckmann gave players a brief message saying that they set out to deliver a new kind of story that deals with difficult themes and would challenge the player in unexpected ways, and is incredible how the experience resonated with the players and have witnessed the type of discussions that it intended to bring out to the table. Documents leaked from Microsoft have revealed that there may be more than just the Xbox Series X coming from Microsoft this generation. Plans are calling for a cheaper next-gen Xbox that will consume less power for gaming at 1080p or 1440p, and is codenamed Lockhart, in obvious reference to the Final Fantasy character. The Lockhart mode is part of the development kit named Dante. It will have 7.5 gigabytes of usable RAM, 4 teraflops of GPU, and a slightly underclocked CPU. While Microsoft isn't acknowledging it at the moment, it may be part of its strategy for the next generation. If released, it may provide gaming to a slightly lower income family looking to hop on board to the generation of gaming. And when we come back on GameCenter 40, we'll have the weather for the Nationals and Dover. Here are your lottery numbers for Delaware and Maryland. Anyways, it's now time to check on our weather out there, and if we take a look out at the map of America, as well as the new green screen, badly drawn overlay. This is probably what it's looking like right now. Got low pressure right near Boston, and the cold front has just swept over us, which gives us a little relief, but not a whole lot of relief. Of course, there is a warm front on the way, flanked by 2 high pressures. We got a bit of rain over portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota, with another cold front coming down that stretches all the way down to New Mexico and into Colorado. Blame the map I got that from. With a lot of low pressure over Texas and rain over East Texas and West Louisiana, followed by a lot of low pressures over the west coast, and a miniature cold front sweeping over Washington, Oregon, and at this moment, Idaho. Now, let's take a look out there and see what's happening at Rehoboth Beach. And wow, there are a lot of people out there ignoring social distancing. Wow. Not that glad we get to shame them on international television. But anyways, it's time to take a look at the highs and lows for Dover, Delaware. And the high today was 86, and low tonight will be 68 degrees. And this was as we were coming on the air, literally during the first commercial break. It is 84 in Dover and 85 here in Camden, Wyoming, Delaware, otherwise known as the suburbs. The barometer read 29.94 inches and falling. Again, this is as we were just coming on the air. Humidity was 40%, and the wind is blowing east at 9 miles an hour. The visibility throughout Dover was 10 miles, and the wave height at Chesapeake Bay was 2.3 feet compared to the 2.0 feet of the Delaware Bay. Well, at least the seas were calm today. And here's a sunset, sunrise, and your tides. High tide at 4:32, low tide at 11:11, sunrise at 5:38 tomorrow, and sunsets at 8:32 this evening. And before we can get to anything else this evening, we got to give you the rest of the weather. After all, how good is it that we're in the calm before the storm? Anyway, let's take a look back out on the Rehoboth Beach and give you tonight's weather. Tonight it'll be partly cloudy, low 68. And it's going to be mostly cloudy for the first few hours. But we're eventually going to get that entire less cloudiness. Now, it's going to be clear for tomorrow morning, but tomorrow afternoon in the PM, we're going to get some thunderstorms with a high of 93 and a low of 71 and 70. Anyways, let's take a very clear look back out there before we can get to that 7-day forecast. And yeah, everyone is ignoring social distancing at this point, but I'm guessing they're happy about that because they're at the beach. Alright, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast, stretching all the way to July 3rd. Tomorrow, the 27th of June, it'll be partly cloudy. No, it'll be scattered thunderstorms. I don't bother to update that, do I? Alright, let me look up the 10-day weather forecast since I clearly forgot to do everything. Okay, let's take this down. This is wrong, or maybe it's right, I don't. Oh no, I've actually time shifted a day. Yeah, I might have time shifted a day, so whatever's in the middle is actually meant for the day previous. And let me compare. Oh, sorry, let me compare all this. All right, PM thunderstorms. We obviously know that, and the temperatures are good. All right. No, not really. Then again, we did get this information this morning. Alright, so tomorrow on Saturday we'll have PM thunderstorms, high of 93. On Sunday it'll be partly cloudy, 89. Monday, sunny, 90 degrees. Tuesday, another chance of thunderstorms, high of 83. Okay, that one was actually correct. Wednesday, it'll be thunderstorms with a high 82. That is also correct for some reason, July 1st. Thursday will be AM thunderstorms at 83. Okay, that one said an 85 initially. And next Friday, we'll have isolated thunderstorms with a high of 86. I can't believe that really wasn't updated properly. And when we come back, a taste of the upcoming revival of Newscenter 40. Stay with us. And now a taste of what you could expect coming up tomorrow on Newscenter 40 South Jersey edition. Wildwood Crest Beach Patrol has decided to cancel the 37th annual Cape May County Lifeguard Championships, which was scheduled for the middle of the upcoming month of July. According to a press release, the gathering, if it went ahead, would violate the current limit of 250 people, which may be raised to 500 by July 3rd. The competition draws more than 1,000 people every year, and if it went ahead as planned, it would place the event in violation of the proposed 500 people limit. The Junior Lifeguard program for 2020 has also been canceled. Square Enix has announced that the company will be ending service for Bravely Default Fairy's Effect at the end of August. Microtransactions have completely stopped for Mithril, the currency of the game. Players that still have it will be able to use it until the end of the service. The developers apologize for the sudden 67-day notice and thanks all the fans of the game for having supported it for 3.5 years. After a lot of debate, it was decided to shut down after those 3.5 years as it was deemed too difficult to continue providing a good experience to all players. And finally tonight, Kagawa police have arrested a 21-year-old man for threatening Ichiro Oyama because of the recent ordinance which recommends guidelines that were designed to combat video game addiction. The suspect had written a threat to Oyama's homepage in April, and the assembly had notified the police 2 days after receiving such a threat. The ordinance is currently facing a lawsuit filed by a mother and her 17-year-old son. And that'll wrap it up for Game Center 40 at 6 p.m. Coming up next is our gaming segment. And to everyone out there, have a great night. I'll see you in a few minutes on twitch.tv. We have a new page. It's twitch.tv/WTXN40. To everyone not coming, have a great night.